You're listening to the Barretta Brothers, two of us. For best results, use both ears.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
You're so cool.
I'm workshopping a new character today.
Cool. Hey, Don, I think you got to drop that music. That's the end. That's the outro. You got to take, there you go. That wasn't the intro with our voiceover guy. You're so cool. Wow, you're far out, man.
I'm workshopping a character, man. You like him?
Yeah. Wow. What's he called?
Oh man, what? Sherman.
Sherman.
Sherman
What's up,
Jr.
Sherman Williams? Because I dig that painted shirt.
I'm a Sherman Jr. My dad's a German tag, man.
Oh, wow. You're crazy. You're like Paul Schaefer.
Oh man.
You are.
That's about all I have.
Sherman Williams. Awesome.
Anyway, you know, Bill,
Yeah.
when we get together,
Yeah.
it's the same sensation as a fresh, a fresh basket of fries.
Huh. You know, I was kind of thinking a similar kind of food feeling as you are.
Wow.
You're kind of like as sweet as, well, buttermilk pancakes with a whole lot of syrup on a sundae, huh?
I'm falling back into my character, man.
Oh, Sherman.
Hey, let's tell the people. I'm gonna do my intro in my character, man.
All right, because it's really good. It's a really good character.
Yeah, I've been working it, man.
Oh man, you can tell.
Listen, everybody, there's a phone number that I can't read with my fake glasses. That phone number
Sherman.
is
Sherman sucks.
phone number. All right, so the phone number is 888.
888.
You can't talk over me when we're giving.
Oh.
888.
888.
627.
627.
6008.
6008.
Let's do that again. 888.
That's 888.
627.
627.
6008.
6008.
Yeah, man. Listen, if you want to see more about our show, you just go to our YouTube channel, The Barretta Brothers, or you go to our website, man. It's just thebarettabrothers.com. It's easy. It's easy.
Thanks, Sharon.
I feel like talking to some people. We got to get busy with our guests, man, because
we got a great
whole show full of family.
Yeah, we got lots of family on today. We have, well, let's just start. Let's get into it. We have the Blasucci family with us today. A family of very talented people. Their dad, Dick Blasucci, writer, producer for shows like SCTV, Mad TV, Muppets Tonight, and more and more and more, all kinds of things he's been involved with over the years that are just amazing. Anthony Blasucci, his son, who is a co-producer, executive producer for Family Guy. That was my phone. I should turn that off. And Maria.
Maria Blasucci, I've been geeking out on her work all week. I discovered Ghost Girls, which is so hysterical. We're going to talk about it more. You've got to watch it. So let's bring them on. I think we've got two of the three we can start with.
Yeah, let's bring on Dick and Maria. There's Dick.
And there's Anthony.
There's Anthony.
Can you
I
hear
think Maria's here.
I
think Maria's here too. Wait, Maria, come on, Maria.
Where is she?
Come on, Don, bring Maria. She's right there. I see her.
I see the name.
I don't see her.
It might be a little delay thing as she's hooking in or something, but she'll be here. Look at you guys.
Oh, look
Hey,
at
how's it
this.
going?
How are you? Thanks so much for having
Yes.
us.
Oh,
you.
go on
Come on.
with you.
No, I'm serious. This was really nice.
All right, any enough with you. Anthony.
Good.
Look at Anthony there.
God, handsome. Boy. I've known this kid a long time. It's funny.
You have.
Yeah,
You have.
Yeah.
this is-
Probably
Where is Maria?
Anthony.
fifth or
She's
sixth
there.
grade.
Here she comes. Here she comes. I can feel it. She's coming. Here she is. Ladies and gentlemen.
Maria.
Oh, did we get her? We lost her.
This is,
Oh, I think we lost her. I hope she calls back.
What?
wait, was she
Weird.
calling back? She has Zoom on her. Well, here,
She
She's
was-
the
she
one who
was-
does podcasts.
I
She
know.
was, oh, right. She was in our waiting thing. I don't know. Something happened.
Oh.
Hopefully she'll call right back.
Okay.
All right.
I love
Let's
this.
talk.
Okay, let's talk anyway. She'll be here. So yes, Bill, what would you like to know?
Well, I'd like to know where you got that beautiful cover you're wearing.
Oh, this thing? Oh,
I
God,
love
I've
you.
done this forever.
I love you in that color.
Is this too bright? Anthony, I was actually going to call Anthony and ask him, what should the, is this
No, it's fine. It's
I love-
California
very nice.
color? We're in color, aren't we?
You know I'm teasing
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are actually, look at you guys are a little coordinated.
Talk at the beginning of
Oh
the
yeah,
show.
that's right. Look at that.
Look at how nice.
Your inside color is the same as my shirt.
That's the
That's
Blasucci
right.
family color.
Yeah.
It's on the crest.
Yeah, Gene, it's nice to see you, Gene.
Always good to see you.
This is, it's,
Uh,
look at that shirt. We'll talk about colorful. Beautiful shirt.
You missed
Yeah.
I was workshopping a character at the beginning of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you missed out. But it
Oh.
was-
I don't know if you missed out, but
Now, Anthony has never met
Yes.
Gene Barretta.
No, this is the
That's
first
true.
time. Hi, Gene. How are you?
I've seen so much of your work. I feel like I know you personally and up close. You know what?
Oh.
Speaking of characters, I can ask you something I'm curious about. When you've written for Family Guy, is there a character you enjoy writing more than others?
is there somebody you kind of clue into or feel like you're
You know, I don't think it's that I necessarily clue into or fit. I think I think it's most of the staff gravitates more towards obviously Peter and Stewie the most, as far as, because it's just the comedy where you can go with that stuff. It's like Lois is very funny too, but Alex Borstein, who does the voice, she brings a lot of that to it, but she's a little smarter. So it's, as a writer, I don't know. It's not always as fun to, with Peter, he's just so dumb. It's so fun.
right. Yeah. But even the supporting characters must be a blast to just.
Oh yeah, they are. Like, Chris is great too. But again, that's another dumb character who,
Right.
What about like third, fourth tier characters? Do you have a favorite of those?
Oh boy, the Tom Tucker stuff is always kind of fun to do a little news, beat. But Dr. Hartman's great too because it's quick,
he's one of my
really quick, and it's very sticky stuff. It's always this very old time doctor humor that you can just pop in and out with him. So that's a fun
My
one.
favorite characters that you rarely see is Obi, the cop.
Oh gosh, yes, he is. He hasn't made an appearance in a very long time. I don't know what happened to him, but yes,
Been
that
benched.
voice
Wow.
is that very slow voice. But yeah, he's great. That was actually before my time, there.
Oh,
I mean, I was working there, but not as a writer, so I never got the chance to kind of.
When did you, oh, I think we've got her. I'm going to try and admit her right now myself. Let me just see if I can do this. But when did you start a Family Guy, Anthony? Here she comes. Hooray! We got her.
I don't see her.
Maria, she's connecting.
Her
to
audio's
audio.
connecting. Her fingers are really good. There she is. Oh, no.
What
I
happened?
see you have I see a Barretta's brother little.
She
Oh,
went away. We had her.
Do we have
Oh,
Boy,
do you see Barretta Brother logo?
This is Maria's
her
way
square
of
is still
pulling.
there.
Here she comes. There she is. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy. I thought we lost you. Hello.
Hi, am I on time?
Oh, now you're.
Perfect. Perfect
You're on
timing.
Am I?
time.
Okay.
So we have 3 minutes left in this show.
No, I thought I started at 3:10.
Kidding. We're kidding.
You're all right.
We've been on for a few seconds.
Teasing.
That's all.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're good. Well, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thanks for having us.
I was
Uh-huh.
telling everybody how much I love Ghost Girls.
Thank you so much.
I've been geeking out on you all week long, doing some research, watching your stuff, and I
Oh my gosh.
everybody, and I know it came out in 2013, right?
Mhm.
But I apologize for just discovering it. But it's just sense of humor is right on line with mine, and I just adore it.
Oh, thank you so much.
I
Bill,
was,
That's
you
very
have,
sweet.
Bill, you have nothing to say how much you like
I,
it?
I was just, well, just give me a moment. I like it more than Gene.
Uh-uh.
No, actually, I just watched the baseball one, which was pretty hilarious.
yeah, that's
Great one.
that's an all right one. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was so funny. I loved how it
Thanks.
ended. You know, I was hoping it kind of would end that way. It
Yeah.
was great.
Well,
Thank you.
Here's what I'm curious about. Do you and Amanda Lund, or do you guys go back years and years?
We met in college, so we met freshman year of college.
Okay, because
So.
you can tell in the writing that a lot of those, I don't even know what the term is for just like throwaway lines that sneak into the conversations and things.
Mhm.
Feel like they're very familiar, like you've said them to each other over the years in conversations and things.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. Yeah.
You improvise? Do you improvise a lot of that as you're writing?
Yeah. We wrote it, and then a lot of it was improvised as well. So, yeah.
But you had a script too. I mean, you guys
Mhm.
you had a script and all that.
Actually, you know what I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, Dick, is when you were doing SCTV stuff, was there a lot of improvisation or around the script, or did you guys improvise a lot?
No, actually, oddly enough, what happened to Maria?
Maria's thumb looks beautiful.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's okay.
Maria's pulling focus on this whole show.
Sorry.
No, actually, it's funny. It was hard. It was not improvised at all. It was,
Wow.
we scripted it, and then when they went into rehearsals, I think their Sunday was a rehearsal day for that week or whatever. They would kind of improvise some little things to add on to some scenes and stuff, but they're nothing on camera. There was one or two times when I heard an improvised line. I think when Joe was Caballero and he was in the wheelchair coming around the corner of a table, he was doing a scene with John, it was Johnny LaRue, and he came around the corner and squeezed his hand and let out a yell.
Right.
And John reacted to that and said, "You want me to shave off the corner of that table, Mr. Caballero?" And Joe said, "No, I don't want you to." That's the only line I remember actually getting in there that was improvised. Also,
Wow.
scripted line. That's what was cool about those guys, is they respected the written word so much. And
Unlike the Muppets.
yes, well, no, the Muppets. No, that was all scripted.
I know, but we're more of an annoyance, I think, when it comes to script, because we're trying to do 5 different things at once, and I think we forget our lines, or we have to try because it's really hard to memorize all of the dialogue, and then we're watching what we're doing, and all the stuff that changes in the moment just technically makes it really hard sometimes. So I think our way of getting out of it is that we just start making some shit up.
Yeah, but
to get to the next moment, hopefully we make
But
it
Bill,
through.
what was great about you is that you were an improviser. There's some of those guys that weren't comfortable improvising, but you were. So that was welcome. Obviously, you added a lot to your part.
Anthony and Maria, I'm guessing it was your mom who was the funny one?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
You figured that.
Look how red my face gets when I laugh. Does that look at me?
I know.
What is going on?
Well, that show
Wow.
has something to do.
Blood pressure.
Yeah, really.
You're nervous.
We should talk about Gene's blood pressure. I think that's probably something we should
Could you take it on camera for us, please?
do. Hey, have you guys ever all 3 worked together on something, or have you ever thought about doing something like that? Would you ever do a project together, maybe?
We would. We haven't, though. I think this is the only thing we've done together.
No, but technically we have done one thing together.
All 3 of us?
Christmas.
When we did Christmas. I had the camera. No, we did when we did the pilot for Phenom, the James L. Brooks show.
yeah.
You guys had a part in the pilot, the 2 of you. I was writing it, and they were you were very young.
You didn't give us a line though.
No, well, that was out of my hand. Talk to Brooks. Don't talk to me.
Dad.
No, but we haven't really. We haven't done it.
You guys must have spent a lot of time just visiting the sets on some of your dad's projects.
Yes. A lot of times.
They were.
Do you
I think
think
that
that an influence as far as why you decide to do the things you do now? Do you? I mean,
Oh,
it's an
definitely.
obvious
I think
question. I'm
definitely.
just, yeah,
Or even
Yeah.
just your sense of humor.
Yeah, and I think it, it helped a lot in getting here. Just the exposure. I mean, I think it's a huge. I mean, it's not all of it, but I think it's a huge component of it too. You
yeah,
know, just being around all the, all like, for example, like all the Muppet people and everything. It's a whole different world, and you just kind of absorb it all when you're that young. And there's definitely for me at least. I don't want to speak for Maria or anything, but I definitely feel that was a huge part.
yeah. How about you, Maria?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess because Anthony's more in like the writer's world of like, starting by staffing and then, that the whole television writing world that maybe, but in the acting and kind of that world, I don't, it's not like knowing anyone helped me, or
Right.
like no.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
get
Well,
that.
it's.
I just wonder, like, I wonder. Sorry, no, go ahead, please.
No, you go. I don't have anything.
No,
to
I
say.
was just going to
Your
say.
mouth.
I was just going to say. Do you think because, for example, like I'm drawn to a certain type of humor, right, or certain types of actors or comedians. Like, for example, Christopher Guest. Like, my dream would be to be in one of those things, right? And then I wonder, is that something, because I know you were in Mascots, right?
And Family Tree is.
And Family Tree, right? So do you think that you're drawn to that comedy tonally? Is that something that makes you, did you want to be a part of that kind of troupe and that group? And
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I definitely, but I think that also gets me into trouble because I look down on other kinds of comedy that,
right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By getting into trouble, what do you mean?
Like knock jokes, not your favorite?
No, it just like, nothing's ever, funny enough until it meets the Blasucci standard.
Right.
Well, for something
But that's.
What, Anthony? What?
No, I think that's, I think that's common. I feel like that's common with a lot of people in comedy.
That's right.
I don't think that's that unique. I mean, it's everyone's always beating themselves up over this. Can this be beat? Can this be funnier?
Well, do you guys
comedy writers and I'm sorry, Gene. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just
I
going
would
to
say comedy writers and performers are the most judgmental people.
Yeah.
Ever.
Do you guys go to each other for notes and things because you share a sense of humor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do do that.
Actually, Dick and I were working on something together, and I think we sent it to Anthony to kind of give us his take, and Gene.
Maria, you got it too.
Maria, did you? She just didn't like it and didn't respond.
No, I got a couple sentences in, and I said no. I passed.
Oh, right. All right.
No,
fair enough.
I remember reading it. I thought it was the cheesesteak.
Yes.
The cheesesteak show. Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
I liked
But hey,
it.
Dick, who are your did you have like comedic influences as a kid? Like, was your mother or father funny uncles? Who were you drawn to?
Well, the Italian families, there's always somebody like that. But my dad was funny. He did have kind of a wry sense of humor and that. And my mother was a singer back in the day. And but my influences were I don't know, Jerry Lewis and Jackie Gleason and those kind of people. But then when I got in with the Second City, it's amazing how early I think that you start developing your comic take on who you like and who you don't like and who you think is funny. Right. And it's shared with so many other people. When I met the SCTV or even the Second City people, all those guys, it seemed like we had all grown up together. We all had the same kind of comic sensibility and satire and parody and who we liked and who we thought we saw in Ed Sullivan that was funny, and who were the bad comics and all of that. It seemed like it was almost universally, and probably with your age group too, Anthony, Maria, in terms of what you kind of grow up with, and you just kind of naturally drawn to it at a very early age, I think.
Where did you grow up, by the way, Dick?
Oh, sorry.
Pardon?
Where did you grow up?
In Chicago, Wheaton, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
And Anthony, well, both of them are obviously Los Angeles.
Right.
I was curious, actually, I think people, they come from all different places where they learn their craft and that sort of thing. Did all of you guys, did you study certain places as far as acting or writing, and is there a training that you guys had? Because I honestly, I did acting, and I did later, kind of in my years, go to the neighborhood playhouse in my late 20s. But up until then, it was more about Gene and I were just experimenting, and we just followed what we love to do, and hoping that it would lead us, somewhere towards that. And so I don't know, did you guys head in did you go to a certain school for any kind of training or anything like that, or?
Well, I
Perfect timing.
Same time, that's good.
but no, but I mean, I feel like I did, in a sense of, I all through high school, not all through, but a lot of through high school, during the summers, I would work over at Mad TV as a PA, and then I started work, I just started working in the environment very early on, and I think that in itself was kind of that training and being around all those people, and from a high schooler, up until I went right into my 20s doing it, and so
right.
Maria more so. Maria, you did theater, you like community theater, or you unstarted.
Yeah, and then I studied theater at LMU, and then did a semester at NYU at the Lee Strasberg Institute, and then
I went to NYU too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, film school. Yeah.
I lived in the Broome Street dorms. I don't know if
on N Street near the Waverly Theater.
Wow, I loved it. But I was only there for a semester because it was like you could go, basically my credits would transfer over, so they allowed me to do kind of like a study there for the semester thing, and that was great. And then I did improv at Iowa West here. It's Improv Olympic Theater, but it was here in Hollywood. It just got shut down a couple years ago, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then just I took like 2 sketch writing classes at UCB, but other than that, that's it.
How about auditions? I didn't do, I was kind of, I think, fortunate in a way not to have to do too many auditions. I did some, but
remember,
when
Bill, you auditioned for Mad TV, remember?
I do. I do.
Wait, did we never get back to you?
I don't remember. I hated auditions.
What happened? Where were you?
I know, I think I was really wounded years ago. My first big audition for Joanne Woodward, and it was the worst experience of my life. And I think I just decided I never want to do that again. And so I moved out to California I wanted to be an actor, but another door opened, and it led me into doing the show Dinosaurs, and I was inside of this big rubber suit, and then that led me to working at home doing this stuff and training I never put myself out there again, I think, until Mad TV, and I'm sure that was a nightmare. I'm sure that was awful.
No, you did great.
Speaking of acting, though, Maria, really admirable how you stretched in Ghost Girls to play the role of a boy.
Yeah. That's always a running joke with me and Amanda, because she's always so put together and looks like a lady, and I'm always wearing like a baggy sweatshirt. So we just said everyone mistakes me for a boy in the show. It's funny if you watch it.
Yeah. I'll get people into the show more.
Yeah.
If you want to understand that joke, go watch.
So, oh no, go ahead, Gene. Sorry, go ahead.
I have a question for Anthony about in Family Guy. Some of my favorite moments are the ones that where there's a scene where the simplest act takes forever, like throwing the frog out the window,
yes,
getting the whale out of the water with the forklift.
Right.
How did that begin, and what's the is that just something that the writers love to do to tease the viewers, or?
I couldn't say who started it, but I know that kind of thing started with Peter grabbing his shin when he fell down very early on.
Those are great.
Before the show came back after it was canceled, so that was way before my time. But I think that was kind of the thing that it kind of kicked that off, and then now with stuff like the frog and the whale and stuff, the writers, I think, have the idea of like, oh, it's going to be do a really long drawn out thing and have it be this very graphic and just tedious kind of act. But that goes to all the credit for that, I think, is to the artist and how that's executed, because they have to take that and they really make all, because you're laughing at the little motions, how the frog is falling off the windowsill and off the shoebox cover, and I mean, it's just that the comedy, I feel, is just really the artists are the ones that are really executing it.
So it sounds like those animators are given some of the same freedoms that maybe the early Warner Brothers animators had and everything, where a lot of it was just visual, left to them to add the bits.
Yes, and those types of things, definitely. I think, obviously they kind of, we, say this is, what we're going for. But beyond that, most of that, I think, is on them. And, it's, they're the ones that there are a lot of great directors who can execute that and get, great laughs from it.
I want to ask you, because I know, Anthony, I guess you guys work in a very kind of collaborative writing space, right? Is that true, that there's kind of, you're bouncing off of a lot of people? And then Maria, you kind of have writing partner as well, I would assume. Some of you, is it?
Yeah, so Amanda,
you like to?
Yeah, we're we do a lot together, and then we'll get hired as a team a lot of the time to do punch up work, or we helped on Neighbors 2 and stuff. They'll bring us in to like basically be a writing team on.
Right. But so I'm curious, Dick, have you ever had somebody that you like felt the most comfortable writing with as a partner? Do you prefer kind of starting on your own and then bouncing off of people?
Well, when I first started out, obviously my writing partner through SCTV and a little bit on the Tracy Ullman was Paul Flaherty, whose brother Joe is on SCTV, and Paul. And Paul was a writer on the.
But I didn't realize you guys were kind of the partnered.
Oh yeah,
that happens a lot on shows, right? You kind of end up finding that person that you click with, and you guys develop things. Right. Yeah,
we started out that way. We wrote a spec script and gave it to Harold Ramis, and he gave it to some people and all that. But then Paul wanted to go off and direct, so then I stayed on Tracy Ullman, and he kind of left to go because he wanted to be a director. And that was
a great show too, by the way. What a great show that one. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But I kind of liked then writing on my own at that point, and learning how. It was tough at first, but learning how to do that. And but when we wrote our treatment and stuff with our idea, it's so important to find the right person, obviously. And I think and it was easy for us to do that. And with Paul, it was always very easy. I know it can be hard, and when I've been thrown together with people sometimes where it doesn't quite work out. Plot through so you get done with it. But comedy is collaborative. I do. Well, Maria, on Ghost Girls, you did, not only you and Amanda, but Jeremy,
Jeremy co-wrote all those with us, the director, Jeremy Connor. And then we also had a writing staff of 3 who helped us.
Right. How about you, Anthony? Do you have a favorite that you like, a partner over there, or is it several people?
Oh yeah, Mike Desolitz, who we kind of were partner. We came together and we're writing together and started as partners there on the show. Now we've kind of, credit-wise, we still collaborate and, work together, but obviously it's nicer to have one salary than splitting one. But
right.
I think it's great. It's a very different, 2 different experiences, and they both have, I think there's pros and cons to both of them.
Sure.
But it's definitely, it is good to find, but, even in a room where, we're not seen as one unit now, there definitely is still, like, you, I would say, is a person who we kind of, you get what that person's saying, or where they're going with something, and you kind of have, you just have a connection with that person comedically.
Yeah. I know
and it exists even separate, when we're separate.
I know with the Muppets, and not so much maybe writing, but just someone to play off of, where things kind of, they get born out of those moments where you're just messing around and comfortable. They're just different people that you can rely on for certain kind of things, I think, at times, certain kind of comedy, certain kind of moments, certain kind of beats, which is fun. I love it. That's what I love about the Muppets, and that there's this kind of repertory group of guys, is that I kind of know what to expect with certain ones, but then also it's always unexpected, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of what we do is all collaborative.
And that staff on the Muppets Tonight was a very collaborative staff too, with all those people we had. We had a really good writing team.
Man, great writing team. Oh wait, speaking of Muppets Tonight, I'm gonna throw something up here real quick. Throw up something. Wait, let me see here. Who's that?
Oh, wow. That's great.
It's the champ. Now you asked me, Bill, was that before he had his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson?
It was. It has to be. Yeah, I think it was like a few months before that fight, actually. But look how stupid we are. We went with the old cheesy, kind of, come on, champ, we can kick your butt.
That old 1943 pose.
Yeah.
Man.
That was one thing, honestly, that we had no problem getting on the Muppets, was guest stars. I've never been on a show where all celebrities wanted to do that show. I mean, it was just amazing.
Amazing, right? And Martin Baker was just this kind of delightful sponge. People love Martin Baker, and he would, the sweetest man. He could get anyone. I mean, think of who we had. It was pretty amazing, right, Dick?
Yeah.
Prince.
The Prince episode is great.
Yeah, I've watched that recently.
I know
it's on YouTube. It's great.
So many people.
Since we're getting close to the end of our time.
Oh, come on, Gene. We're having fun.
Oh, Gene. Oh, wait.
I wanted to just make sure we talk about the work you're currently doing. Dick, can you say something about the Scorsese documentary?
Yes. Well, it's ongoing. We got everybody back together. Rick Moranis is part of it, and
For the SCTV.
Yeah, the SCTV documentary. I'm sorry, which is kind of, it's for Netflix, and Martin Scorsese's directing it. So with him, he likes to, he's just not going to run clips and do interviews. It's kind of trying to find what is kind of the overall theme of the show, and what is it we're trying to say. So that's kind of, it's an ongoing process. It's getting everybody together, and we have shot some things. We shot a concert it was a concert hosted by Jimmy Kimmel up in Toronto that we shot last year. So we're shooting, and we're getting stuff, and we're still writing it and trying to figure out what each cast member wants to do. It's not surprising with the SCTV cast. They've always been everybody willing to do stuff, but they're very particular about what they want to do, and everybody obviously wants to do a great job, and including Scorsese, who wants this to be a great representation of the show, and nobody wants to do the old show. They want to do something new, and they're not going to do old characters and things like that.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. It'll be great.
Maria, you've been working on a podcast with Lydia Greengrass D'Alvo
Dejo, yeah.
How is she to work with?
She's difficult. That's one of the podcasts I have. That's I play a middle-aged woman in Rancho Cucamonga who just decided to do a podcast. And then I have the Big Ones, which is another podcast I do with Amanda Lund from Ghost Girls. So yeah, I'm working on the podcast front, and then just on Drunk History. The big
Drunk
ones.
history.
The big one? Oh, sorry.
The big one.
And it's
drunk
all on
history.
Irios, your own network.
You have
Yeah,
your own
and I started my
podcast now.
network.
She started her own podcast
Oh,
network.
cool.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, how, so where do
Congratulations.
people find that? What's that called?
Earios, EARIOS. And you can just, type that in to your computer and see what happens.
I listened to a few of Nick's talk. I
Oh.
wasn't sure whether you wanted to give up who you play.
Yeah, no. At this point, no one's listening, so might as well just.
Go inside. I mean, you
Let
can
them in on the joke.
pass
a
that
little
off
bit.
as just a pure, a straight podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Character
Yeah,
studies
it's
and
scary.
The one you
Yeah.
do with the one where you interview the kid about video games is
Yeah.
so great because the kid is playing a game as he's talking to her. And the space between her question and the answer takes forever.
But that's just my friend Brian Shortall. He's playing a kid, and I just pitched his voice down so he sounds like a kid.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's really funny.
How about Anthony? Anything outside of Family Guy you work on? It just keeps you busy enough, right?
For the moment, it's keeping me busy enough, but you know, we'll see.
Let's do the
Which is all
used
good,
car
it's all
show.
good.
Let's do the used car thing.
Bill, you had a
Oh,
chance
well,
to do that show.
I know, I blew it.
Fox said no. Don't worry, you.
No, Fox.
Oh,
That
bummer.
was a long time ago.
That
They got
was-
Bob's Burgers instead.
Boy, that was.
Oh,
How
right.
many years ago was that?
That's like 14 years ago or something, or maybe less, 12.
No, it's got probably like 10 or something. It's around
Is it?
there.
2009 maybe or something, or
Yeah.
8 or 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
It's
Yeah,
all right.
11 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think we have to say farewell to the lovely Blasucci family.
Yeah, I hope we did.
Oh.
good.
Well, Anthony and Maria were wonderful.
Were they?
Thank you. And I do love you in that color, by the way, Dick. I do think it's
Thank
really.
you. Do you still want my mother to do to teach how to cook on the Muppet thing?
If we do another run of it, I would love her to do that.
Okay.
I think it'd be great for
Really
Muppets
wants to
Now.
do it.
Oh my God, it'd be so much fun. I think people wanted to play it a little more safe, so we had some great people with the chef, but I think we should go with a little more real people and have some more fun with it. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
98.
You'll see it in July. It comes out.
It does?
Yeah, on Disney Plus.
Thank you all.
Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you
Thanks
so
Thanks
for
for
much.
having us.
Thank you
Oh,
very
thank
so
you.
much.
Fun.
Now, how do we get rid of you?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
How
How do they go away? Oh, there goes Maria.
Hi.
She knew how.
Look at the.
I think
Now it's just us again. You and me against the world.
And stay tuned next week for our Dinosaurs 30th anniversary reunion show. See ya.
Come on back.